Welcome everybody to Bases and Brews with Ben and Brandon, episode number 30. 30. This is our weekly podcast where we talk baseball and beer. We stream the show live every Friday on Twitch, twitch.tv/Bases and Brews, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Come give us a follow, watch us live over there. If you can't catch us live, go check us out on YouTube for the video or podcast services for the audio. Just search for Bases and Brews. Also, give us a follow over on Twitter at Bases Brews to get some baseball news, some updates on the podcast. I've been posting like stuff after the end of some of the playoff games here.
You're gonna get some pictures and video tomorrow.
Yeah, I keep meaning to post. I took some video final Indians game, and I really want to post that. I keep forgetting though. But yeah, so how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad it's the fucking weekend.
Yeah.
My back. I don't know. I did something to my back last night, and today at work was just hell.
That's never good.
And the sliding door on my delivery van that I drive broke from the outside. So on top of having my back hurting, I had to crawl in the back of the van to unload everything today. It was fucking
Oh no. That's not good.
But with all this baseball, I'm excited. And I am a man of my word. I said I would get playoff tickets if they made it.
You did.
We
that
are
was like episode 1.
Yeah.
You said that.
We are going to the game tomorrow.
It's exciting.
Bro, I'm so stoked. That game is going to be insane.
You and the missus?
Yeah. How was your week?
Oh, it was good. Very busy at work. So, yeah. Really upset that I have to go tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel that.
But that's okay. Other than that, it's been all right.
So, what's on tap tonight? What are we drinking?
All right. So, yeah, I told you I'm changing it up from my IPAs, and I went really different. We went Angry Orchard.
Oh, okay. See, we're almost on the same level tonight. Almost.
Okay.
Almost.
I actually bought, for the one we missed last week, I bought Strongbow hard cider. And it's a little bit more bitter of a flavor.
Okay.
But I was like, I drank all that this week, so I was like, well, it was really good, so I'm kind of craving some more, and I just grabbed this.
I told you before we started live. I went a little ghetto this week. A little. Well, maybe ghetto is maybe not the right word, but it's definitely off-brand, especially for me, even though I like the flavored stuff.
Oh.
Mango. It is the weirdest.
Bud Light mango?
It is the weirdest flavor. No, it's a chelada, which means there's like tomato juice in the Bud Light, and it's flavored like mango. It is the weirdest fucking combo of flavors. It's like beer, tomato.
That does not sound good to me at all.
It is really weird. It's not as bad as it's not as bad as what I've been drinking the last couple weeks. Those fucking what were they? The Belgian lagers or whatever it was that I was drinking the last couple weeks. Not a fan of their taste. This tastes better than that, but I think once it gets even a little warm though, it's gonna taste terrible.
Yeah. See, I'm not a fan of like tomato drinks. Like I don't like Bloody Marys and stuff. So
Okay.
I can't envision myself liking that.
A lot of the people I grew up with and like drank with when I was young were Hispanic.
Okay.
And the tomato juice and the like tahine on the rim of it and of your glasses and stuff was like a very common thing. It's I've never been a huge fan of it, but every once in a while I can get down on some.
I don't mind. Like I've had margaritas with tahini on the rim, but I've never done. I just don't like tomato juice, which is weird because I like tomatoes. I think the big thing for me with Bloody Marys is that I really don't like horseradish. and that just kind of overpowers the whole drink.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I've never
So
been a Bloody Mary fan either, to be honest.
I like most of the things in it, just not the combination.
That I get that. But since we missed last week, we're gonna have a lot to talk about this week.
Yeah, there we are.
So let's hop into some hot and cold.
All right. So we got a few things to close out the regular season on here. So we had Marcus Simeon, who set the MLB record for most home runs by a second baseman.
A lot of that happened this year because Perez set it for catchers.
Yep. Perez, set it for catchers a few weeks ago. He finished with 48. I think the record was 41 or 40.
It was 40. I thought it was like 45.
Was it that much?
I thought so.
You could be right, but yeah, he actually finished second in that. Or I guess he finished tied for first. I should. But yeah, so impressive. 45 is a lot. And then I was like, how has no second baseman in history hit 45? And then I'm like,
oh yeah, but
I guess it's not really. I mean, in the past, it's always middle infield was never a power hitting.
Well, yeah. I mean, now you got some young guys that are going insane.
True, but most of them are shortstops.
That's true. That's very true.
So
that doesn't surprise me. 45 is actually kind of a lot. People see guys hit 50 and 60 and over the last like decade or two. I've seen a couple guys go like nuts, and now if they're not hitting like 50, it's not considered a lot. I think anything over like 35 is actually a lot.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think it was growing up in the steroid era where, pretty much every single year somebody was hitting 60. Like, maybe I got desensitized to, 40 home runs is a lot of home runs.
Yeah, that's
basically one every 4 games. That's a lot.
Yeah. So, that's crazy.
But yeah. And yeah, it was the previous record holder was Davey Johnson, who I've never heard of, but he played for the Braves in the 70s. So
yeah,
1973 was the year that he set the record.
Got a lot of records broken this year. The Giants have broke a lot of their own team records. I'll talk about it in a little bit.
I didn't get as much into team records because that's harder to keep track of.
Well, being a Giants fan,
right? I was gonna say because you're a Giants fan, it makes more sense. But yeah, so this ended before last week's episode would have been, but the Cardinals had their win streak snapped at 17 games, which is nuts.
That's still crazy long.
Yeah.
Because imagine if they had got to 20. That would have been 3 separate teams this year with 20-game win streaks.
Still wouldn't have beat the record.
I know, but that's still crazy, though.
Indians hold the record.
What?
Most consecutive wins.
Oh, you're talking. Oh,
they set the record 3 years ago. They got 23 straight.
I have a question about your Indians we'll get to in a little bit, too.
Okay.
Not playoff related, just something I heard in rumor mills that I kind of want to get your thoughts on. So we'll save it for the end of the show.
Yeah, we'll get into it. We can do it in the news, too, before we get into the playoff talk.
That's true.
I don't know what it is, so wherever you feel it's appropriate.
I'll keep an eye and I'll pop it in when I feel like it fits.
All right. Wander Franco, the Rays' ridiculously good rookie, his on-base streak ended at 43 games, which tied the record for Frank Robinson. This was the record. It's like rookie under 20 years old on-base streak or something.
under 20 that's only played 100 games in
I feel like
pitched for 60 innings. I hate all these fucking like caveats to these records.
I do too. But like I feel like rookie on base streak can't be much different. Like, how is it more than 43?
Right.
For a rookie? Like, I'm actually gonna see if I can find that.
But we were talking though before. Apparently, he did get on base 3 times in his 44th game, but none of them were recorded at bats. Apparently, they were two fielders' choices and an error. So he didn't reach base safely on any of those attempts, even though he did get there, which kind of sucks.
Oh, fun fact: the rookie part had nothing to do with it. It was just on base under 20 years old.
Oh, okay.
Most of the players on that list were there in their rookie year because they were under 20.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you're that young, you're a rookie. It's not basketball. Kids aren't coming up at 19.
Right. But yeah, so that's right. So yeah, like you were saying, neither of us knew this, but apparently, if you reach base on a fielder's choice or an error, it doesn't count as reaching base in a on base streak. It has to be like an official at bat, like a walk, hit by pitch, or a hit.
I wonder if a strikeout would count.
If you struck out
and then reached
on a drop third strike.
Because technically, that's it.
I don't know, because I feel like that's an error, right?
I don't.
It's either a pass ball or a wild pitch.
Well, I don't think that's counted as an error, though, is it? I don't think it's counted as one of those two. If it's a strike.
No, because if there's a pass ball in regular play, it's not an error.
I don't know. That's a tricky one. We'll have to maybe try and find something throughout.
I honestly don't know. That's a weird one. But
the things you love about baseball, all the weird shit you could get into.
Right. But yeah, so I think that makes the streak even more impressive, that like in 43 games he either had a hit, a walk, or a hit by pitch. Like,
I would agree with that.
Crazy. No fielder's choice, no reached on an error. Like, that's impressive.
I think that is too. I definitely think it adds something to it.
Yeah.
All right. So how many home runs did Vlad end up with?
48.
Most home runs by a player 22 years old or younger. That to me is nuts. 48. Shit.
Yeah.
He had the record, right? Or at least was tied for number one.
Oh, you mean the league lead?
Yeah, the league.
Yeah, it was him and Salvador Perez.
Okay, I was going to say, I was pretty sure he had the league lead.
Yeah, so he actually finished just short of the Triple Crown. He was 6th in RBIs, leading the league in homers, and 5th in batting average.
Okay, so he actually wasn't that close.
No, and he actually fell off. He must have had a bad last week or two.
Because he was like number 3 or 2 for batting average.
He actually lost the batting average by 17 points.
Ooh, yeah, that's kind of bad.
Which is significant by the end of the year. Like, you got to go insane to make up 17 points.
Well, you got to think he had like 48 home runs with like a week and a half to play.
Yeah.
Or a week to play, and I don't think he didn't hit one in the last like week. So he must have just kind of burnt out, maybe. I don't know. I hate to say that because like he's young.
I mean, I wouldn't even say burned out. I mean, you just have a bad week, and it just happens to be at the end of the year. But,
yeah, that's true.
But
either way, I'm glad we both at the beginning of the season called that, because when we go back and do our end of the season review, we're not going to be right about a whole lot, but at least we got something. I know, right?
Right. Yeah, he finished. Just to finish that, he finished 10 back for RBIs. But yeah, so 10 back in RBIs, 17 back in batting average, and then leading the league in home runs, tied for the league lead.
So he still ended hot though. I mean, being
I
top
mean,
10
that's
and
still,
every like.
I mean, to be clear, when I say he finished 17 back for the league lead, he batted 311 with 111 RBIs and 48 homers. Like, that's a great season.
Yeah. God, what a scrub.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it does
They
suck.
should they should totally trade him. Just get him out of there.
Right.
Giants
Yeah,
should definitely pick him up. Maybe they can rehab him or something. Revive his career.
Right. Yeah. So should the Indians. We'll get him on a discount. That's the only way we get players. But yeah, so
Oh man.
good season by Vlad. We did both pick him to have a really good year, and that was part of the reason we both picked the Blue Jays to win the AL.
And they fell just short.
They just missed. It was so close.
That
finished one game out.
I'm bummed that we didn't get to do last week's episode. Sorry, everybody. My internet literally just decided like, no. Well, what happened? Apparently, I live right next to an alley, and apparently a fire truck came down the alley and took out our line on Friday morning, and they couldn't get someone out to the house to fix it until Sunday.
Oh my god.
So, but that weekend for what could happen in the American League was absolutely nuts.
Yeah. We can get into it more. I have it kind of broken down
in
the news, but yeah, it was a great wild card finish.
Oh yeah, it was. All right, so last cold of the season.
Yep.
Baltimore and Arizona.
Yep. Neither one was even good enough to win the worst team of the year. They had the tie.
At one point, I thought the Giants were gonna have more, or they were gonna have more losses than the Giants did wins. Or is it the other way? No, the other way around. I thought the Giants were gonna have more wins than they had losses.
I was gonna say they did have more losses.
Not by much.
No. Both teams finished 52 and 110.
3 games.
No. The next worst team, I believe, okay. So the next worst team was Texas at 60 and 102. So they were 8 games worse than the third worst team. So like they weren't even close to being like there. But
I mean, it's not too surprising though.
No, both of those teams are teams pretty sure we both would have picked to be at the bottom of. Actually, I take that back.
No.
Arizona, you and I both picked to be.
I think I picked them for third in their division.
I think you did.
And I think you had them fourth.
Fourth with Colorado in the back, but yeah.
They definitely didn't play well.
Yeah. But yeah. So closing out the year, worst record. We can also throw in hottest. The Giants finished the season with the best record, just holding off the Dodgers.
I was going to say, with the Dodgers 1 game behind, but we'll get into that more down the road because that's a matchup that is starting in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, let's get into some quick news. Not a ton that's not playoff related, but there's a couple things. The Angels shut down Shohei Ohtani like a week and a half or 2 weeks before the season ended. He would have had 2 more starts.
I mean, does that surprise you?
No.
They didn't have anything to play for.
No. It was just Ohtani playing for MVP, basically.
Yeah.
Which he probably already had locked up, especially with Vlad not getting the Triple Crown. Like that, I feel like that was the only way Ohtani wasn't getting MVP is if Vlad got the Triple Crown.
Yeah, that's true. I think we talked about that a little bit before.
Yeah, we did. But Ohtani did fall off at the end of the year.
I'm telling you, I don't think he's going to be a 2-way player for more than 3 years.
That's fair. I mean, there's a lot a lot of strain on your body.
And it's not because I think like he's a bad player. I mean, he's doing something that's literally never been done. Well, only like been done once.
Yeah.
In remotely modern baseball.
Trying to look, he finished not even in the top 25 for batting average.
Well, he hits home runs. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but he was up in the top most of the year.
I think he fell like way off about about a month after All-Star break.
Well, about that home run hitter.
He hit like 42.
Oh, I'm on. Okay, hold on.
I was going to say, what are you talking about? He was like 1 for 1. He had like 42 or 45.
When I switched with stat that I was sorting by, it still kept me on the second page for that stat.
Oh.
And I wasn't looking at the number. I was just scrolling through the names.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, okay. He finished with 46. But, yeah, he only batted 257 this year, which...
Still not as bad as Cody Bellinger.
Well, I mean, that's not saying much.
Cody Bellinger was an MVP 2 years ago.
Yeah. So was Jock Peterson a few years before that. Now he can't even stay on a team.
But, I mean, that doesn't surprise me that they shut him down before the end of the season. If they were playing for something, they wouldn't have shut him down.
Yeah, but the Angels will never be playing for something because they're a terrible organization.
No. But
honestly,
yeah, go ahead.
Like we've mentioned it a couple times, how the Angels are not good, like a good front office.
No.
But honestly, I would throw them up there with some of the worst run organizations in all of sports. Like, they're always semi-relevant because they have Mike Trout. Like, they're always like...
Well, they've always had big names.
But they never do anything with them.
But I think that's a testament to what you're saying, though. Is like they have big names, but they haven't done anything with it.
Right.
Although, did you see the stat on the Yankees and how much money they've spent since their last World Series? It's like $2.6 billion on salary since they won their last World Series in I think it was 2012 or something like that.
Sounds about right.
I was baffled. $2 billion on salary.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I bet you if you looked from 2012 to now, the San Francisco Giants have spent pretty damn close, if not more than that. You guys are always in the top 3 in salary.
It didn't used to be that way.
Ever since you started winning the World Series.
Ever since they were like, hey, if we spend money, we win games.
Funny how that works. Fans come to the games when you're good. You actually make money. Yeah.
But that doesn't surprise me. But this is actually, since we're talking about pitching, not a bad way to talk about your Indians. So I was hearing rumors that the Indians might be looking to shop your boy, the Biebs.
Yeah. I doubt they would trade him. I would be extremely surprised if they trade Shane Bieber because he's locked up for 4 more years, 3 more years.
Oh, I think Nelson Cruz just went yard again. Oh, it's foul.
Did he catch that?
And he caught it. And
holy shit!
Oh my God, that was incredible.
Grab.
That was that's a hat tipper for the pitcher. Wow. Yeah, definitely. Cool.
That was a great catch.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shane Bieber is on the rookie contract, so he basically gets paid whatever the team says he gets paid. He can't go to arbitration yet, and he's under team control for 4 more seasons. So that's exactly the player the Indians keep.
Yeah,
I trade him in 2 or 3 years.
I mean, I don't think that it's gonna happen, but it was something that I was hearing more than one person talk about, and was like, "Oh, that's an interesting thing." How would you feel if they did trade him, next year, or maybe even the year after that?
I mean, if we trade him when he's got a year left, whatever, that's what Cleveland does. I'm used to it. but if we trade him like next year when we have him under control for a few years, so I'll be mad because that's like the whole like ideology of our front office is draft good, get guys in, get young farm players in trades, and keep them under control as long as you can, and then trade them if they're good. Like that's what's kept the Indians relevant for a decade, basically.
That's fair.
So if we trade him with like a year and a half on his contract, that makes sense to me. But trading him before that is stupid, unless you know something like he's got some shoulder issue that's bothering him, and you're like, sell him now before anyone finds out.
That'd be scummy, but I mean that's what you do, right?
I mean, Corey Kluber, we traded him to Texas. He pitched 2 batters and was like, "Yep, I gotta have Tommy John surgery." Literally the first 2 batters of the season, and he was like, "I'm out. Like I can't pitch right now." And he came out, and like the day later, they were like, "Yeah, he's having surgery."
Oh, that's brutal.
Great trade, Indians.
On to our next thing. Joe West is retiring. Thank fucking God.
Yes.
Thank God.
They said there were 3 gone. Maybe.
Although
gone?
he just did one of the games in San Francisco like a week ago. Like it was one of the last couple of games. I think he was on the crew for the last series in San Francisco, and he actually did a pretty good job for the most part.
I was watching him. He did the Yankees Red Sox. Or did he do Dodgers Cardinals? He did one of the playoff games, one of the wild card.
I can't remember which one which crew he was on.
But he wasn't bad. He was behind the plate, and most of his balls and strikes were pretty much right. Or borderline. I
don't know who it was. I can't remember, which means they're probably a good umpire. But did you hear there was the umpire that hit like 99 or 98% accuracy or some stupid shit? He literally almost called a perfect game.
Something.
It was like a week.
And a half ago?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It was like a week or a week and a half ago, yeah.
Oh. There was another one earlier in the year that had like 2 pitches that were wrong.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now we just need Angel Hernandez to fucking retire.
They said, yeah, so in the game when they were talking about it, they were like, Joe West is retiring, and then they were like, there's 3 other umpires retiring, and I'm like, God, I hope it's Angel Hernandez.
Nope, Angel Hernandez is doing the Dodgers-Giants series. Oof. Yeah, I'm not happy about it.
That sucks.
I mean, I'm okay as long as they keep him away from behind the plate. He can't do much damage if he's not behind the plate.
Yeah, but that's not how umpiring works.
No, they rotate.
So unless he starts at first base and then it's a 3-game sweep.
That's not going to happen.
Probably not.
No, that's not.
But, yeah. So, thank God for Joe West retiring.
I mean, I think Joe West gets more flack than he maybe deserves sometimes. Like, I don't think he was ever really, like, as bad as someone like Angel Hernandez. Like, in my opinion, Angel Hernandez has been like a cancer in baseball.
I mean, I agree with that. I think Angel Hernandez is definitely worse.
For more than just, like, his calls. Like, the way he's talked about the league and some of the other stuff. I don't like Angel Hernandez at all.
Yes, agreed. But Joe West is not a good umpire.
Maybe not anymore. I don't know how bad he was or how good he was when he was younger. Like, you got to think, though, this guy's been doing it for, like, 30 years. He's like over 3,000 games under his belt.
More. They said it in the game when they were talking about him. He's been umpiring for 47 years.
Yeah, I mean, like of course at that point you're geriatric. Like you go to any like job that requires you to like actually like focus on something. Like you don't see people that are in their 70s doing that.
But that's the point. He should have retired like 15 years ago.
I know, but like, but that's what I mean by like, I think he gets more flack than maybe he deserves. Because I bet you when he was younger, he wasn't this bad. And
I mean, I have no idea.
I just think someone didn't go like, "Hey, Grandpa, like you don't really have it anymore. Like it's time to walk away."
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong.
Sure.
Maybe he did, and he was just like,
I
"Fuck
have no
you."
idea. I have no idea if he was good before or
I don't know how
terrible,
long ago
so
they started keeping track.
I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine it was before they started doing like the box on the screen. but, um, but yeah. So one last piece of news before we get into some playoff talk is three teams ended with over 100 wins this season, and two of them are about to start playing.
Yep.
I have it written further down in the playoff matchup, but this is the first time that two teams with 105 plus wins will face in the playoffs.
Fun fact: it's the first time technically that the Dodgers and Giants will have ever played in the playoffs.
How is that possible?
That's what I said.
That doesn't seem
they've only played games after the season has ended. Will be the third time. They did it in like 54 and then I think like in 70 something. But the games were like wild card games from what it sounded like. So like the stats for those games were attributed to the regular season. They weren't considered postseason,
they ended in a tie and they had to do like a play-in game or something.
Or something like that. So like the stats didn't count as like playoffs or postseason. So technically, by like the letter of the way it's structured, this is the first time that these two teams have met in the actual like postseason and playoffs, which is insane for how like deep this rivalry goes to have never really played in the playoffs against each other.
Right? Yeah, that's really crazy, actually.
That's a fun stat or fun fact about the Dodgers Giants series.
Yeah, that's a weird one because I would have never guessed that.
I wouldn't have guessed it.
Two teams that have been around for that long.
And this dates back, like, I think they played maybe once, but it was like in the dead ball era. It was like 90 something or something like that.
Okay.
Which I don't think anybody that actually watches or thinks about baseball counts dead ball era stuff anymore.
No, I don't think.
Like it's talked about its history, but like there's like I don't think any of those records are ever referenced. Any of that stuff is ever like actually referenced. It's all modern stuff that's referenced.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anyone brings that stuff up.
So outside of that though, yeah, first time.
Huh.
I know, crazy, right?
That's so weird. Yeah, for teams that old and historic, that's insane. But yeah, we'll get into the matchups a little more.
Not a good way to start Mookie Betts with a leadoff single.
Well, it's early. All right, so let's do a quick recap of how the season ended here. The AL Central, White Sox win. East, Tampa Bay wins. West, Astros win. I think all those were locked up like a week before the season ended. No real surprises.
No, it was just the wild card that it was like crazy.
Yeah. So then, the wild card. Red Sox get first, Yankees get second. That game already obviously was played. The Red Sox beat the Yankees pretty easily.
I was gonna say that wasn't even really a competitive game. It
was not a good game.
I was kind of bored. Like, I mean, I was glad that the Yankees lost because obligatory fuck the Yankees.
Yeah.
But I was a little surprised with how like lopsided that game was.
Yeah, it was not close. I don't even remember what the final was.
I think it was like 6-1 or 6-2. Yeah.
But yeah, going into the final day of the season, it was like 4 teams could win.
Yeah, it was the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and
the Mariners.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so depending on who won and who lost, like any one of those four teams could have made it.
The Mariners needed like everybody else to lose and them to win. The Blue Jays just needed the Yankees to lose and them to win. And I think the Blue Jays won.
But the Yankees
pretty
won
easily, and then the Yankees won like a little bit later. Sucks.
Throwing the ball away. It's not good. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna be a little distracted right now. I'm gonna do my best not to focus. Not to.
I legit have Yankees at Rays on this side, Giants, Dodgers on this side, and then you and me in the middle with our Google Doc.
Yeah, I only have two monitors, so I can only do so much. Especially because I have all the stream stuff up.
Right. But yeah, so then the NL, Braves in the East, Brewers in the Central, Giants in the West. That was the West was the only thing that was up for grabs. Like a week and a half before the season ended, everything was decided except for that.
Which was crazy because I went down to the last game of the season.
Yeah. So who did the Dodgers own the tiebreaker in that?
No, we did.
Oh, so then it wouldn't have mattered if they had the same record.
So I didn't know this. I thought the tiebreaker just meant whoever won that won. No, what the tiebreaker does is if you tie, it gives you home field advantage
in a play-in game.
In a play-in game. So if the Dodgers would have won, which they did, and the Giants would have lost, which they didn't, they won. They would have had to play one game to see who won the West. And then whoever lost would have to then play the one game wild card game.
That honestly would have almost been better for the Giants if they won that play-in game. Because then you got their first two starters would have had to have gone before you played them. Like they would have been on their third starter for game one.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, I get what you're saying, but you also burned one of your guys.
True, but you have...
We have like three pitchers right now. Like we can't really afford to burn too many guys. So like that's what I'm worried about.
The flip side of that is the Dodgers have like
three
four
guys.
Cy Young candidates.
Well, yeah, they have like three guys right now, but they're all like borderline Cy Young candidates.
Right. Which, by the way, side note here, before the playoffs end, I want to do like a awards prediction.
Okay, when do they announce the awards? Do you know for sure? I can never remember.
I looked it up, and I'm pretty sure it was like 2 days after the World Series ends or something like that.
Okay, so we got a little bit of time. Okay, we'll talk off stream. We'll figure that one out. But yeah, I'm with that.
Okay. So yeah, and then the wild card in the NL was the Dodgers Cardinals. Dodgers. That was a really fun game to watch.
It was a fun, boring game.
Yes, it was a pitcher's duel until the ninth.
Yeah. Oh man, that broke my heart.
Yeah, I mean, I was pulling for the Cardinals, but
this ironic thing is I think the Dodgers are a better matchup for the Giants. They're familiar with them. The Dodgers are a little bit more banged up than the Cardinals were.
Yeah.
But they're also a lot more lethal, just from like a player-to-player standpoint. Like they got half of their team could go yard at any point.
Now, I'll say this. The Cardinals in about a year or two are going to be scary as hell in the NL.
I mean, if they can...
That team is so young, besides Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright.
Well, and Yadi's retiring, right? Or is it after next year that he's retiring?
After next year.
Good, because that means him and Wainwright will set the all-time record for battery starts. I was really hoping because they're at...
I think they did.
No. They're like fifth right now.
Oh.
They're at 304, I think is what it is. And to get to be number one, they need to get 20 starts. Okay. I think the record is 324.
Yeah, barring injury, they should.
So they should do that because as long as nobody gets hurt, he should get roughly 30 starts next year.
Yeah.
So they should set that record, which I hope they do.
Yeah. Both those guys deserve it.
Yeah.
Those guys are both like, I don't know if Wainwright's a Hall of Famer.
I think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's a first ballot.
Definitely is.
Yachty, I would argue, is a first ballot.
Yeah. If he's not first ballot, he'll be.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll get it, but I could see someone arguing that he deserves it.
I think he was so, like, everybody loves him. So and honestly, as much as it shouldn't, popularity does play a big role in all-star voting.
Yeah.
So I feel like he'll probably get first ballot, but
I'm glad that they're gonna go together one more year because they should set that record. I think that'll be cool.
Yeah. But all right, so let's get into some playoff matchups. All of the series have at least one game finished, except the Giants and Dodgers now.
Yes, because there was a full slate of games today.
Yes. So it's very weird to me still that they offset the AL and NL, which seems very strange.
It actually makes perfect sense because then there's baseball every single day. There are no off days for baseball.
I understand that. But
come on, man, we bitched about how bad they were at marketing this. So it's like a marketing 101. Make sure you're always up.
But I feel like it should be one AL series and one NL, and then the opposite, two games.
No, I don't like that because then you get watching the scoreboard moments, which I don't. I like it better when everyone's kind of playing at the same time. Because then, you can prep for who you're going to play.
I feel like you're watching the scoreboard when everyone's playing. If the games aren't even happening at the same day as you, then.
Well, but what I'm getting at is like, if you have like one NL team playing on Tuesday and on Wednesday, that means by the time those series are like in the later stages, whoever plays on the second like set, if they're up in their series, they know who they're facing basically already at that point because the other series is over. Which I mean happens if there's a sweep anyway, but I don't know. I think by keeping them on the same day, you keep a little bit less of that. It's more of you got to just play to win the game. You can't hold anything back because you're ahead and you know who you're facing. And I don't know.
I just hate that at the end of the year, everyone's like, okay, assuming every series is a sweep, the AL still has one extra day of rest than the NL.
But it might even out, though, by the time you get to the World Series.
Maybe not.
And even so.
Maybe the AL sweeps and all the NL series go.
Yeah, but I mean, like, 7. You could say that the other way, though. Like, what? Even though the AL teams started first, what if all those series go to 5 games, and all the National League games go sweeps? So then they get like 3 days of rest where they wouldn't have. So I mean, I don't know. It's a really tough one.
I always hated like not having the same start day because it can lead to, especially in baseball where you have pitchers have to get a certain number of days of rest. Like one extra day can make a huge difference, and one person has their top starter going in the last game of a series, and you have an extra day to rest your guy. Like you could have your number 1 starter going against like their 4th starter or something. I
mean, you're not entirely wrong, like with that thought process, but I just think that something like that could happen, regardless. Like if there's a sweep, like that could happen either. Anyway.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. I don't disagree. I'm grabbing another beer. So.
Oh no, he didn't get enough. That wasn't even close. But will be a nice sack fly.
All right. But yeah, let's get into some matchups here.
So is the Rays Red Sox game over? I imagine it's in like the 8th, right?
I think the 8th inning is about to start.
Okay. I can only have one up, so I'm watching the Giants, not them.
Yeah, they're up. Red Sox are up 8-6 right now.
Yeah, buddy, they're about to tie that series up, hopefully. I hope so. I want the Red Sox.
Red Sox.
You may hate the Red Sox, but I think the Red Sox are a worse team.
Oh yeah, no question.
So like I
don't think
want
that's
them to
even
win.
a
I want
question. Tampa Bay is absolutely the better team.
So I want them to win. I want Tampa Bay gone.
I like Tampa Bay. I've always liked Tampa.
I don't have anything against Tampa Bay. They're just too good. They need to go away.
But the Yankees basically turn themselves into what they hate. The Yankees the Red Sox turn themselves into the Yankees. They overpay for players. They have a ridiculously high salary. They go out and buy players.
It's because no one will go and work for them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, front office wise, like they wanted Farhan, our general manager right now.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted him. If they had gotten him, with their payroll ability and arguably one of the better like analytical minds in baseball. Like,
I mean, I'd argue the Giants have the same payroll ability.
No, they don't.
I think the Giants have a significantly higher salary this year.
What they are paying and what they're capable of paying, though, are different things.
Okay, fair.
Let's go! Buster Posey,
Damn.
2-run shot. Or 3-run shot?
To the Bay.
2-run.
2.
Let's go, baby.
Damn.
Let's go. That's how you do to tight pants. That's what you do to tight pants.
That's huge.
That's huge. That's massive. Bottom first. 2 out. 2-run shot.
Lead early. But all right. So you're rooting for the Red Sox.
I definitely want the Red Sox to win that.
100% rooting for Tampa.
I don't think the Red Sox are going to win the series, but I'm rooting for them.
They will probably. Oh, I take it back. It's not the 8th. It's the bottom of the 7th right now.
Okay, so there's still a good amount of game left there. So I mean, Tampa Bay's got some bangers.
And it's 9-6, not 8-6, but yeah. I mean, the game's not over, but even if it is, they tie it 1-1. It'll be a good series.
Yeah.
Astros White Sox. Astros won yesterday and today, so they're up 2-0.
That's a disappointment.
Agreed.
Just because.
But I'll say this, not a surprise.
No, the Astros I think are a better team.
The Astros are the better team, and I don't know what it is. The White Sox have made the playoffs. I don't know, probably 5 of the last 10 years, and I feel like they never do anything in the playoffs. Like they always falter. I don't know what it is about that team, but
yeah, I didn't get to see today's game.
I haven't watched either of their games. Both their games were early, so I didn't.
Yeah, I was at work when most of the games happened today,
Same.
so I didn't get to watch them. But it doesn't surprise me. Literally doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. All right, so let's move. So wait, which team are you gonna pick in that series?
This is where I'm rooting for the White Sox, but I think the Astros are going to win. The problem, this is why I like the wild card to an extent, but this is also why I understand why people don't like the wild card, is the best team doesn't always win.
Yeah.
But
that's why
the longer the longer a series goes,
for a 3-game series,
the more likely the better team is to win. Which is why I'm glad we're facing the Dodgers now. Because I'd rather face them in a 5-game series than in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
So
yeah, I'm 100% with you in the Astros.
Yeah, like I think the Astros are going to win, but I really want to see them lose.
Right, of course. Of course. I mean, everybody does.
Which is
There's
funny.
There's a guy at work who's an Astros fan. Like, he's not like a big baseball fan, but like, he's from like southern Texas, so like, he's an Astros fan.
It's funny because growing up, and even up until a few years ago, I was always a huge Astros fan. And I don't know how long
they had a lot of fun players.
I don't know how long I can really hate on them for. Because it's like another year or two, almost all the guys that were on the team that was cheating are basically going to be gone.
That's what I was going to say. Is I will hate them until their core of players is gone.
The Bregman, Altuve,
Correa,
yeah,
yeah.
Which sucks because like I like Bregman. And I love Altuve. I love short guys that play really well in baseball. Like, I don't know. There's just something about like small dudes playing baseball that just makes me smile. Maybe because I've always been kind of short. I just love it. But like the fact that they were a part of that definitely hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I used to like the Astros, and I can't now. But yeah, I mean, once those guys are gone, like, I'll probably like the team and just hate on those players.
Well, like my favorite jersey all time is an Astros jersey. We talked about this like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's save that one for last and go to the Brewers and Braves.
Okay. All right. This one's a little tougher for me.
So this,
I actually like both these teams.
And I didn't get to see the game at all today, and today was the first game, so I have no idea like how each team played.
I think based on the updates I got, the Brewers kind of dominated.
Oh, okay.
But they had what's his name, Corbin Burns pitching,
which I mean,
like,
I think
maybe Cy Young.
So I think the Brewers have a better pitching staff. So I'm going to lean Brewers because playoffs pitching is what wins you championships. I've seen it firsthand where a team could not score more than like 3 runs a game and won a championship because they had guys that could just throw the fucking ball.
I am going to agree with you. And I honestly, I think we both said it multiple times, but like we've said baseball, like one player can't like carry a team. But I honestly think that if the Braves had Acuna in the same situation, I think that they might win that series. Having that one extra like ridiculously good bat.
I don't know.
Freddie
That's
Freeman, and they got a few other guys.
You're probably not wrong because he does bring a lot.
I mean, I don't think it'd be like a guaranteed win.
But you think it just tips the scale in their favor?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because I think this is a pretty close game, like series.
Yeah.
I don't think like one team is massively better than the other.
Yeah. Although the Brewers finished with like 90 something wins.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. They did really well most of the year.
Brewers finished with 95.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Braves finished with 88.
Yeah, I mean, they are the better team, so I'm gonna give them the nod, and I don't really care either way, to be honest.
No.
I don't have any stake in the fight.
I mean, you kind of do because
I don't.
Giants win, you're playing one of these.
I think teams. The Giants are better than both of those teams, so I'm not worried about it.
I mean, I agree with you. It would be all about matchups.
Yeah, I would rather probably see the Braves because, like I said, they're not the better team. I don't think, but I'm not. That's looking past the Dodgers, and I think that this series is going to be the hardest series that the Giants are going to play in this playoffs.
Like I said, if the Dodgers advance, it's no guarantee. If the Giants advance, it's no guarantee that the Giants advance past the Dodgers. Like that's going to be a really hard series.
It's a big if.
I mean, I definitely think it's possible. It's not like some scrub team going against like the top team. Like
no, you're talking
with the injuries to the Well, okay, we're gonna talk.
Yeah, we'll talk about
get into Giants Dodgers because we both put in our bets.
Yeah, first game is going on right now. We're top 2. Giants are up 2-0.
Yeah,
that's like we were just saying. This is going to be probably the series to watch.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
All right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and assume that you're gonna pick Giants here.
No, I'm gonna pick the Dodgers.
Well, let's be honest. You picked the Giants to finish 4th in the division, so
Well, they were projected to win 77 games, not 107.
I mean, I had to.
Oh, trust me, that's gonna be a fun soundbite because I know I got kind of real negative when we were talking about those.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Giants too.
Ooh, I'm actually surprised at that.
The only reason is they have the better pitching, no question. Dodgers do.
Oh yeah, the Dodgers do.
The Dodgers also have like 3 starters out, including what's his name at first base, who's like one of their best players.
Max Muncy.
Yeah.
And he's a giant killer.
So I think the injuries are the tipping point in this series.
I don't think the Giants have Brandon Belt this series either.
That's fair. But I feel like their players are more important to them. Nothing against Brandon Belt. He's great. He was arguably almost the MVP this year, but
he probably
I feel like the Giants are a lot more balanced.
Well, that's how their team was built.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Whereas the Dodgers are very like, we're going to hit a lot of home runs. We got a lot of big power hitting, guys. And if you knock a couple of those guys out of their lineup, that's a big blow. But, yeah, I'm going to lean Giants, but I think this is like a 5-game series.
Oh, I 100% say that. So it's funny you say that the Dodgers hit a lot of home runs because the Giants were the second team in all of baseball as far as home runs go this year.
Yeah. But that's not the norm. That's not what the Giants are built to do.
I mean, that's what they're built this year to do.
Is it, or did they just have a couple guys have hot years? Like,
I mean,
that's not what the team. Like, none of the players on the team are guys you go, yeah, he's a big power hitter. Like,
I mean,
even like Buster Posey isn't like.
Got a few. I mean, like Darren Ruff is a guy that there's made it on the postseason. Like his whole job is to pinch hit home runs.
But like, I'm talking about guys who are hitting like 40.
Yeah, I don't think we have anybody that hit over 26.
Right.
I think was our
like I said,
total.
balance.
But we had like 4 guys or 5 guys hit 20.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a very balanced team, and that's good. I mean, because that makes it a lot harder to pitch around guys than if you have a top-heavy lineup. Then it's like, all right, well, we'll just walk the 4th or 5th hitter to get to the guys.
Yeah, but I don't think the Dodgers have a top-heavy lineup. I don't think they did. I would say like 3/4 of their lineup is potential to go yard.
I don't think they did, but now that they lost a few starters, now I think
you might not be. You might not be wrong with that because that's a good point. Like with losing a couple guys, maybe that does shift their momentum and the way that where their production comes from a bit.
Especially considering, I think the guy who's out for like the season now, I think he's out for the season.
Muncy?
Yeah, was one of their bigger power hit. Like he had.
Yeah, I mean he is one of their. He's one of their bigger guys, but I mean they got guys like Justin Turner.
Did you see that injury, by the way?
Which one?
Muncy.
No, I didn't see his.
Oof.
Was it bad?
It was ugly. He was on first base. The throw was high, so he jumped up and caught it and went to go tag him, and the guy like ran into his arm or something, and like bent it all the way back. It like dislocated his whole shoulder, and like he was like walking like this, like arm hanging. It was bad.
That's brutal. I mean, I don't ever want to see people get hurt, but I'm glad it happened when it did.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know. I really do think that the injuries are going to be the downfall for the Dodgers in that series.
Yeah, it's gonna. Well, and it's funny that we were talking about home runs because like that's how the Giants got on the board so far in the first game too, the home run. But a couple of quick stats because I know earlier I was gonna say, so 107 wins for the Giants is the most in their franchise ever, dating all the way back to New York. which is funny because I know me and you talked off air about like how the record books work when a team leaves a city and never returns.
Yeah.
And at first it was like, oh, are they going to set just a San Francisco Giants record? Because 103 was the San Francisco record. I think that was set in 1993, I believe. I believe that's when it was. And that was going to be a record in itself. But once they got to 106, tied them with the all-time record. So getting that 107 set the all-time record. They set the all-time home run record.
And they needed that 107 too.
Yeah, they needed every single one of them. It is they hit the most home runs by any Giants team ever. And that includes the team that they beat was the year that Barry Bonds hit 72.
Okay.
That was the team that had the record. I think it was
hit like a quarter of their home
Yeah,
runs.
where like one guy hit almost a quarter. Well, over a quarter at that point. Like a third of their home runs.
Yeah.
So that's the team they beat. And the 107 wins is the most wins by a team that clinched the division on the last day of the season.
Okay.
Which, I mean, is not really surprising because that's a lot of wins. And if you're going to win that many times, chances are you don't have a team nipping at your heels.
Yeah. I think it's only... I seem to remember it popping up somewhere that it was like the first time... or it wasn't the first time, but it was one of like 7 or 8 times that two teams in the same division finished with over 105 wins or something.
Oh yeah. I was looking at that too. I don't know what the exact number is, so I don't want to speak necessarily on it. But yeah, it was one of like a handful of times.
10. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But could you imagine being the Dodgers though?
Yeah, it sucks.
Or could you? I mean, could you imagine being the Dodgers if they had lost to the Cardinals? Winning 106 games and not even being in the playoffs?
It was actually, they were talking about it on the air for the Cardinals-Dodgers game. Actually, it'd be good to get your take on this. So, I'm assuming you watched that game. So maybe you know. But they were talking about kind of reforming how the wild card works.
They want to start it right after the season and do a 3-game series.
Well, no. I want that.
Right? No, that's what that's what I thought. Maybe it was a different show.
Maybe they said that too. Maybe Maybe I didn't hear that part. But no, they're talking about like seeding.
So getting rid of the division winners and
right. So like basically, if you win your division, but you have 10 less wins or 15 less wins than someone else that gets a wild card slot, then you play the wild card even though you won the division. And I'm like, I kind of can get on board with that, honestly.
But then why even have divisions? Then just have everyone play everyone. There is no National League. There's no like divisions, but there's just National League, American League, and the top 5 teams in each league make the playoffs.
I'm totally fine with that.
I think that's dumb.
I mean, what's the point of divisions anymore, honestly? Besides the rivalry, which you'll play those teams that much anyway.
Not necessarily, though, because think about it. Like, there are teams in, maybe not this year, but I know it's happened a lot in the past where, like, you'll have a team win maybe 90 games, but another division is just a weaker division, and their division winner will win 88 games.
Well, no, okay.
So you would be in the playoffs and they wouldn't. So that rivalry that team has with whoever might not happen because they're not actually in the playoffs anymore.
So like that's why you keep divisions, I think, because the division winners still get a playoff seed regardless of record. But then playoff seeding is based on your record, not on your division win. But winning your division clinches you a playoff spot.
Well, I mean, it technically...
And then you take the 2 worst records of all the teams that clinch a spot, and they play in the wild card.
I mean, technically, that's kind of how it is, though.
No. I mean...
Well, I mean...
The
Kind of.
Dodgers and Cardinals both didn't win their division.
Well, yeah, but they're also, because they didn't win their division, the Dodgers are playing
Yeah.
the best record team.
So like this year, it would have been the Cardinals and the Braves would have played in the wild card. The Dodgers would have had.
They would have been the second seed.
Right.
Which means they would have played
The Brewers. And then the Dodgers or the Giants would have gotten the winner of the Cardinals and Braves. Because right now, if you really think about it, honestly, it benefits the number 1 seed too.
I mean,
right now you're playing the second best team in baseball, whereas, and so like your reward for having the best record in baseball is to play the second best team in baseball when it should be playing the winner of the 2 worst teams that make the playoffs.
Okay, but also, like I was saying earlier, though, the longer a series, the more likely the better team is to win.
Yeah.
So playing the Dodgers in a 5-game series is better than playing the Dodgers in a 7-game series.
True.
So
if you think your team's not as good as the Dodgers,
I mean,
but don't you want like?
I have faith in my team with what they've done this year, but realistically, like they're not as good of a team as the Dodgers.
Take your fandom out of it. Like just make it 2 random teams. Wouldn't you want the best team to be the team that wins?
Well, I'm not saying
that's the whole point of the World Series is like you have the 2 best teams from each division playing for the best team in all of baseball.
I mean, but then I guess there is the argument that if they can't win the series, are they the best team?
Right.
So like you don't really, I guess, know until the series is over. Because I would argue that the Giants aren't a better team than the Dodgers. I mean, yes, their record was better, and they're statistically they were better, but they're not actually a better team. Like if you look at position by position, they're not a better team.
Both teams fully healthy on paper. Of course, the Dodgers are a better team. Like they have like 4.
Dude, they've got 4 Cy Young winners.
Yeah, like 60% of their team could be all-stars.
Yeah.
At least 60%.
But that's what I mean.
Maybe
so,
more.
I mean, yes, the Giants beat them by 1 game, but I don't think that the Giants are necessarily a better. I think they're playing more cohesively, and I think that they're a little more bought in, but I don't think that they're a better team.
But doesn't that make you a better team?
I mean, it means you win more. It means you win, but I don't know if that necessarily makes you a better team. I mean, I guess if you look at the team as a whole, I guess wins.
That's what I'm saying. They might have better players, but who's the better team?
I don't see. And this is what's always tough, because this is always my argument, because a lot of people will be like, oh, you just want to stack the best players you can. I'm like, that doesn't work.
No,
like, players got to want to, like, there's got to be chemistry. They've got to work together.
Exactly.
Like, they've got to be okay with their role on the team. And when you get a whole bunch of superstars together, that usually doesn't work because they want to do their thing.
They all got egos. They all want to be the guy. Which I guess in baseball, in theory, that should work better than any other sport because there is no like sharing the ball or anything like that. Like there is in basketball and football.
Yeah, you want to show that you're better, you just go out and perform.
Right. Because your average and home runs and whatever all speak for themselves, and nobody else has an effect on those stats besides you. So baseball, more than any other, like the ego, I feel like doesn't play as much of a role, but I mean, it still can create tensions in the locker room when one guy tries to be the alpha male and you got 5 of those guys. It's like,
or you just throw a Trevor Bauer in there and just see what happens.
Some news on the Trevor Bauer front. Did you see about this?
I heard that they had extended it. He wasn't coming back for the rest of the season, but I haven't heard anything new after that.
Yeah,
that wasn't new, but that was like was the last I heard.
So his first court case is basically done, and he's good to go.
Okay.
He posted a thing on his YouTube channel, and he was like, "I can't really talk too much about it." He's like, "There's basically." It was proven that I'm good, like I didn't do anything wrong, and
The court
like,
said I'm just a sick fuck. I'm not actually legally bad.
I mean, you do what you want, man. As long as everyone's.
I mean, I ain't into kink shame, but like you beat people up and that's what gets you off. You're kind of weird. You're kind of off.
I mean, of course, I don't disagree that he's weird. He's a weird dude, but like, if it's consensual, whatever you want, go.
Yeah,
for
do
it.
what you do. Do you, boo boo?
But yeah, he was like, there's some other thing that I can't really talk about right now, which I'm guessing is going to be like him suing her for like a defamation lawsuit. But
well, I mean, think about it. I mean, I don't think he lost any money, but like with all this stuff going on, like who's going to want to touch him?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's going to be one of the better pitchers in the league regardless, but like it's going to be tough for a team to want to like deal with that PR.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't hear about that, but good for him. Like, I mean, originally I was hoping that happened for him because I hate when people get railroaded, and that's kind of what it felt like was happening.
Yeah. The weird thing is that it really feels like baseball's trying to screw him over because I also got no news stories about it. I got no things from Bleacher Report, MLB app, but he posted it on his like official YouTube account. He like filmed like a 45-second video on his phone as he's like walking down the street. And he's like, I can't really talk too much about stuff, but like I just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on. And
yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily condone what he does, but what he does in his private time, like who am I to say that's again anything?
If it's consensual.
Yeah, as long as it's consensual. But that's going to be interesting because the Dodgers have basically made it clear they don't want him back.
Right.
The players have made it clear. The front office has basically said, fuck you already.
If it comes out he's innocent, then it's like, well, maybe do some of those players who were like, we don't want him back, be like, oh, well, if he didn't do it, maybe
they just know. Like, there are guys that play that are very...
the other players don't like.
Well, no, I'm just saying that are a little more like baseball. I think you see a lot of like religious guys play.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of those guys morally would be like, that's just wrong. Like you don't put your hands on a woman. I don't care if she's asking for it or whatever. Like it's just, you don't do that. So I could see people still like, even if like it's deemed all consensual and they're like, there's nothing illegal going on.
Right.
That they're still like, yeah, you're fucking a weirdo and you don't fucking do that. I don't want you near me. I could definitely see that in baseball.
Yeah.
More than any other sport. Because, I mean, like, football, like, I feel like every year someone's beating their baby mama.
Right. and they're picked up, like, a week later by the Cowboys, usually.
But baseball, I find, is very much, like, when people get shunned like that, it kind of sticks.
Yeah.
And it's neither here nor there. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I do notice that as a pattern.
Yeah. I want the Giants to me. I mean, honestly, knowing Trevor Bauer, like, not personally, but like I watched him in Cleveland. I heard all his interviews for years. I would 100% see him going to the Giants because one, they can pay him. And two, he'll get to pitch against the Dodgers however many times a year. And he is a petty motherfucker who will absolutely love to pitch against his former teams if things end badly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, if they, like, excommunicate him from the Dodgers, I could see that.
Which, if they get rid of him, that's, like, basically, like, there's not going to be an amicable split here.
But the problem...
Like, if they get rid of him, he's...
Yeah. The only problem with the Giants, though, that I see is the Giants are a very, like, liberal city.
Sure.
They are very against that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So I don't know how they would take it. Like, trying to bring someone like that in. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know how well he would mesh with the locker room. Like, the Giants have always taken in weird people, like Hunter Pence, even the freak Lincecum was kind of weird. I think he was just kind of a stoner and people didn't realize it at the time. But they had a habit of taking weird guys in. But like this is a little different than just being weird.
Yeah. That's honestly why the Indians got Trevor Bauer. We got him from Arizona because Arizona was like, we just are sick of your shit. Like, we just can't deal with this. Like, Arizona was like, yeah, he's a really good young pitcher in the minor leagues, but he just doesn't want to listen to us, and he wants to do his own thing, and he's just a weird dude. And they're like, we just can't deal with him anymore.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, we'll let him do whatever he wants to do. And it kind of worked out for him because he turned out to be a pretty damn good pitcher.
I mean, like I said, I'd love the Giants to get him, and the Giants are going to need pitching because I think all of their guys are on 1-year contracts that are expiring at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like, literally, our entire starting pitching staff is going to be gone this year, except for Logan Webb, who's starting today's game because he's young.
I got another quick fun fact for you that just popped up on the screen for the Giants-Dodgers game. Both teams moved from New York to California in 1958.
Yeah.
I didn't know they moved at the same time.
Yeah. They literally, their rivalry literally just shifted from New York to California.
I knew it was like similar. I didn't realize it was like the same exact year.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Oh man, I'm excited. Giants got off to a hot start. I'm hoping they can keep it up and they don't give up anything. But oh man, I think the Dodgers Giants series is going to be the one to watch. After that, I would say maybe the Rays Red Sox is going to be the next like close series. I think the Astros win on Sunday, and I think that series is over.
Yeah. I think the White Sox might take one in Chicago.
You think they win on Sunday? Because it's basically win on Sunday or go home.
Yeah, I think they'll win one, but I think the Astros win that series 3-1.
That's what we should do. Okay, predictions for... I guess we did do who we want to win. How long do you think these series will all go?
All right, let's go Rays Red Sox first.
I think that's going to be a 5-gamer. I think that's going to go the distance.
I think it's going to be 3-1.
I think that's going to end up 3-2.
Okay. Astros, you said you think it's a sweep.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a sweep. I think they win on Sunday.
I think that's a 3-1 series.
You think it's just a gentleman's sweep? They give them one?
Right. Get that one home game in front of the crowd. Like, there's amped up. It's an elimination game.
That's true. I could see that.
All right. Giants Dodgers.
I for sure think that's a 5-gamer.
Yeah.
I hope it's not, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. All right. Brewers Braves.
See, that one's a little tougher. I think that's 3-1.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
I think the Brewers win. I think that the Braves win one, but I don't know if they win more than one. Oh, the Giants are knocking Walker Buehler around a little bit. I like this.
I pitch count.
Not really. I mean, he's at bottom 3, 41 pitches. That's not. I mean, you want to average about 15 an inning.
Yeah, but he's starting the third, right? There's nobody out.
No, there's one out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like literally he could throw one pitch, get a double play, and be out of the inning in under 45. Like, that's not bad.
I agree for the most part. The only series you and me disagree on is the Rays Red Sox.
Well, I mean, like, and that one's tough because it wouldn't surprise me if the Rays win because they are a better team. I'm just going to put my faith in the Red Sox and just hope. Because I'm hoping that the Giants can get through the Dodgers I'm hoping the Red Sox can get through the Rays, and then I'm hoping the White Sox can get through the Astros, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's going to be
No.
over. Which would mean that the Giants are the best team left.
I think, yeah, if the Dodgers beat I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep mixing up the Dodgers and Giants. I've done it almost every time I've tried to say the Giants. If the Giants beat the Dodgers, I think pretty much the only team who can give them a run is Tampa Bay.
So they didn't play the Brewers particularly well this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what the exact numbers are. I'll look it up real quick. But so maybe the Brewers could probably give them a run. I'm feeling like they didn't play the Brewers all that great this year.
Yeah, playoffs are different though. Like I understand like looking at head-to-head matchups during the season is like the only way to really gauge it, but I feel like they rarely tell what happens in the playoffs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they played 7 times this year. And the Giants won 3.
Okay.
So they're 3-4. So they have a worse record against the Brewers than they do against the Dodgers.
Yeah. I mean, much smaller sample size.
Well, yeah, it's not 19 games; it's only 7. But they played the Brewers The Brewers played them kind of tough. So maybe that goes a little bit longer of a series. But you're right. I think the only team that like really challenges them is probably the Rays. I mean, maybe the Astros, just because the Astros have the habit of going yard. And if the Giants start giving up home runs, that's when they get beat.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say that about any team, but...
Well, especially, I mean, a lot more than San Francisco, the Minute Maid Park for the Astros is much more of a home run friendly park, too.
That's very true.
Like, they got that really short left field, the Crawford boxes.
Although, everyone says that, but left field in San Francisco is actually pretty fucking short.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't see a lot of home runs with the left.
You don't, but left field I think is only like 320.
Okay.
The fence is, I mean, it's not a short fence. It's like a 8-foot fence or something like that.
Oh, yeah, but it's not. I mean, when you talk about, I feel like 8 feet is not that uncommon. Like, it's not the Boston right field where it's like a 3-foot fence, but
let's see. I'm looking at the dimensions real quick.
The 8-foot fence is not that crazy anymore. The only ones I can think that don't have that are like Toronto has the super high like 10-foot wall.
Okay, it's a little bigger than I had thought, but these might be. Well, they haven't brought that one in. So to the foul pole is 340. Okay, so it's like 20 feet farther than I thought. So it's actually bigger than I thought. It's my mistake. I had always, for whatever reason, I always think that like left field is like really short.
Yeah.
Because like to like mid left field to like true left field, not just the pole, it's like 350, 355.
Okay.
Which still isn't that far.
It doesn't actually go out that. It doesn't like go out as fast as a lot of fields.
No, once you get to like left center, that's when you get to the 399, and then that's when you start to go like out across right center to where it's like 415, I think, right now.
Destroy the ball to get it out there.
Yeah,
like right where the brick meets the short wall. That's like
415 with it being brought in. It used to be 426 or something like that.
That's for me being an AL Central guy. That's Detroit. Dead center to Detroit is like 420.
That's so far.
Right field, right center in Detroit is like 32 or something like that.
Over the last like 2 or 3 years, the Giants have started to like look at everyone's home runs and do a 32 or what, a 30-part comparison.
Yeah.
To see like how many parks that ball would have gone out in. And like anytime a ball goes to center, it's 100% of the parks. But like anytime it's short in right center, they're like, well, that would have gone out in 12 parks. You're like, well, fuck off. We don't need to know that.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up right now the like dimensions of park.
Oh damn.
But yeah, like Cleveland has a really short left field because we have like a 20-foot wall.
Okay.
When they first built the park, they called it like the mini monster because it was like half the height of the green monster.
Well, that is a short porch, but that wall is so fucking high, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because that wall is like 35 feet or something like that?
It might be more. I'll look in 1 second. So yeah, it's 420 to center in Detroit, 429 to right center.
Jeez.
So that's the green monster is 37 feet.
Okay. I thought it was right around 35, but that's so tall. It's so fucking tall.
But yeah.
To get a home run there, like you don't have to hit it far. You just have to hit it 3 stories high.
290 or something, right? Like it's super short.
It's oh man, that's so high. Come on, baby. But no, it's gonna be, I think, a fun playoffs. It's funny because what I was joking with people is this is the Giants' run on on odd years. So the last run the Giants made were all on even years. It was 2010, 2012, 2014. I think this is where they go on their run of odd years. So now it's going to be 2021, 2023, and 2025.
I don't know, man. You got a lot of aging players out there.
Well, yeah, but they've already looked.
You have some good young players.
We have a lot of good young guys. A lot of guys that haven't even been brought up this year because they didn't need to be. Posey's replacement is already in the minors, and he's doing really well. He's just not quite ready yet, which is fine because Posey's not done yet.
Right.
We've got the future backup for Brandon Crawford, but they just inked him to another 2-year deal, so he'll be here for another 2 years.
Yeah.
And Brandon Belt, like, outside of this year, I would have said get him the fuck off the team. But he's playing well, and I imagine they're going to re-sign him for at least probably like what Crawford got, probably for a couple years.
Yeah.
Because that gives you a little bit of flexibility. Like if you only sign him to 2 years, he plays 1 year. Even if he's not very good, you can trade him with 1 year left and get something back for him.
Fun fact, just to go back to our field dimensions talk, Fenway is actually 310 to left field down the line.
Well, that's
so like it's not that short.
No, I mean 310's pretty short for professional field.
But it's only like what 30 feet shorter than San Francisco, and you got to hit it. It's got to be almost 4 stories high at 310 feet. Like,
yeah,
that's a bomb.
Yeah, that is kind of a bomb. That's a 440-foot home run if it like stretches out.
The opposite of that is right field at Fenway is 302, and the wall's only like 3.5 feet tall.
That I don't understand. I don't get that. Like you see people hit their like thighs on the wall when they go to catch balls in right field.
Yeah,
like I just don't get it.
Especially like in the bullpen area.
Like I just don't get it.
I hate that. I hate that field, honestly. Like,
I want to go
because it's so unique. I went. It's not great.
Maybe cool. Next year with the hopefully lifted restrictions and everything. Maybe next year I'll try and actually go out of state to some parks because
Yeah.
I haven't been to many parks because I've
I
never.
didn't get to. Oh,
What's
I
up?
didn't get to talk about it because we didn't have a podcast last week.
No,
But
you went to
actually,
the.
no, it was this week.
Yeah, you went to
I went to the
Texas, right?
last game of the season. Yeah, Texas. Stadium number 17 on my bucket list.
Nice.
Um, holy crap, that stadium is nice. We sat first base side. Um,
Oh my
about
god!
10
Did
rows
you just
back.
see that double play?
Yeah, that was really good.
Holy shit! That was a great double play. Sorry, sorry.
But you're good. But yeah, so the stadium's built like into the ground. So to get to the lower bowl, you have to go like down.
Oh, that's a trip.
And it's really freaking weird because you're walking through these hallways and there's no windows. You can't see the field because it's just like enclosed. It just feels like you're walking in a hallway, but it's like super nice.
That's crazy.
And then you like walk through the one of the tunnels out to the stadium and it just like opens up and it's really nice.
That's
like,
crazy.
The stadium's really cool.
That's pretty dope.
But yeah, it was really weird because we like went downstairs and I was like, honestly, it feels like we shouldn't even be here. Like it feels like we're like somewhere behind
Like in a
the
secret
scenes where we
area.
shouldn't be. Like, and it wasn't crazy busy either because like neither team was making the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Sometimes those
So,
are the
like-
best games to go to though if you want to like check out the stadium, like actually like
Yeah,
enjoy the
right.
stadium. Because the game doesn't matter. Like who wins, who loses, like it doesn't
I
you
was
can go
looking
and just
around a
enjoy.
lot. Like I didn't pay a ton of attention to the game, to be fair.
But that's
But,
cool.
The coolest thing is I realized like a couple days beforehand that I was going to be going to the last ever Indians game in history. And I was like, that's fucking cool. And then
Yeah.
I got there and there were so many Indians fans there that they started like, all right, so the Indians chant is like, let's go tribe. Like, let's go tribe. And that started in the middle of the game and it was so loud you could hear it across the whole stadium.
Almost like it was a home game.
Yeah, and the Rangers fans started to boo, and the Indians fans were louder than the booing with the chant. And I was like, "This is so fucking cool!" And I looked over, and like the Indians players were like coming up to the top step of the dugout and like looking around and like cheering the crowd on and stuff. I was like, "This is fucking awesome!"
That's a cool just experience.
Yeah. And like after the game, I have video I keep meaning to post, but after the game, there was like all the Rangers fans left and all the Indians fans were left, and there was just like red the whole way around the stadium, like red jerseys everywhere and stuff, and like people were like cheering on the team, and they all came up and were like talking to the fans behind their dugout and stuff. Like it was cool.
That's so rad.
But yeah, the end of an era. No longer the Indians, the Cleveland Guardians.
And that dates back to like the 20s, right?
Yes.
Like that's
Might have been the 30s because we were the Spiders at one point in the 20s. Which is what a lot of fans wanted us to go back to, were the Cleveland Spiders when they were announced they were going to make a change.
strike zone tonight is really tight in the Giants game.
But yeah, so it was cool, like without even realizing it until I was like almost like a day or two before, like realizing I was going to see history for my team. And
Oh, that's cool though.
it was honestly like I was getting like a little teary eyed. I was like, God damn, like this is cool. And like I'm all for the name change.
I mean, how lucky
100%
how
for it,
lucky
but,
is
like,
it that they played like close to you,
right?
Since
Right?
you moved, like that.
And I don't know if I ever said this. I probably not, because I don't think I had the tickets last time we did the podcast. Like my boss bought me the tickets. Like I didn't even pay for it.
That's even better.
Like he was like, I was talking about how the Indians were going to play the Rangers, for the last series of the year, and he's like, "Oh, that'd be awesome. I haven't been to that stadium yet." I'm like, yeah, me neither. And he's like, "I'll buy us tickets. Let's go." I'm like, "All right." And then he ended up like not being able to go, but me and Jen went. And,
That's cool.
It was cool.
That is dope. Anything you want to throw? Anything you want to add for playoff stuff? And
No, I think pretty much covered it. We got all our predictions written down so we can come back and see how wrong we were.
I don't know. I feel like playoffs is pretty not easy to predict, but like there's so few teams that it's
in baseball. I feel like it's difficult to have an upset in baseball.
That's true.
Like it happens, but rarer than other sports.
Well, and it's because the series are a little longer. It's like you don't see an upset in basketball a ton.
Yeah,
because the series are 7-game series.
Like a 4 seed beats a 3 seed, but it's rare that like an 8 beats a 1 in basketball or something. Yeah.
So you're not wrong with that, and I think that has something to do with just the length of the series and how the games are played.
Right.
But one thing I love about baseball, especially when you're watching playoffs, is anything can happen. In football, a team gets up by 20 points and there's only a few minutes left. It's statistically like impossible to come back.
They're not going to get enough possessions to come back.
Yeah. But in baseball, you could be down 20 runs and theoretically win a game.
Right.
Because
there is no clock.
There's no clock. There's no time limit. If you can keep hitting and keep scoring, the inning stays alive.
One of my favorite baseball memories of all time is exactly that.
The Indians coming back from like crazy in the 9th.
It was like 15 down in like the 7th inning, and the Indians came back and won. And my parents and my aunt and uncle wanted to leave, and me and my cousin were like, "We're not going. We're staying here." And then they came back and won, and we were like, "Imagine if you would have left.
Yeah, right.
You would have missed this."
I feel that one. But I'm gonna end it here for the podcast. If you guys are hanging out, stick around. We're going to do probably a good 15-20 minute after show. We do it after every podcast. So if you are watching on YouTube and you want to come in, talk to us, chat with us, come check us out live on Bases and Brews or twitch.tv/Bases and Brews. It's where we record this every Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And you'll get a little bit of after show where we kind of just banter about and talk about what we're going to do for the next episode. Just talk other sports because there is some other stuff I want to ask sports about. But if you're watching on YouTube, come check us out live. It's a blast. We have a ton of fun. If you're listening to on Spotify, Google Podcasts, anything, we appreciate you. Check us out on YouTube if you want to check any of our old episodes. And on that note, have a great week, and we will catch y'all next week with all of the finals for all of the first division playoff series. They should all end by Friday.
Yep.
So we'll come back with the conclusion of all these series and what we predict for the next round. So hope to see you then.
Later.